Yeah, so which way you want to go. And so I thought that was an interesting thing. And there's a lot of Angela Davis in there too. It's very good.
All right.
And Danny Glover was one of the producers, I think, of the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Financed it, yeah.
Okay. You spoke highly about it, so I'm anticipating seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
And before I get into this, and Judy Bond got a book from me.
No,
Yes, he did.
so it could be here tonight.
He got a book from me, a book. He had the other thing.
You gave her a book or he gave you a book?
He bought a book for me.
Oh, he did?
Right. And I had to sign all of us. And him and his son was there. His son is active.
Well, he was an early pioneer in Georgia, really smart. Went to the Georgian legislature and came out against the Vietnam War.
And a member of SNCC.
Georgia, and a member of SNCC, and a very, I admire him a lot.
Morehouse,
Good for
right?
you, I'm really glad. My mom, when she worked on this thing, she worked with Julian Bond's father, who was
Horace Mann Bond.
Horace Mann Bond was one of the founders and one of the head president of Atlanta University.
Something like that. He taught at Morehouse. His dad was a teacher.
Yeah, I think he was,
Mhm.
and yeah. I knew his sister too. Well, actually, I did work in civil rights one summer with this black firm. I mentioned that in the book, and I worked for Howard Moore.
Yeah.
And Howard Moore, I think, was Julian Bond's brother-in-law.
Right,
He was
sure
married
was. Julian Bond's sister.
To Julian Bond's sister, right.
Mhm.
Yeah. What is this book going to make into a movie?
I really hope so. This screenplay writer, Chris Smith, has really done a lot of work and created a lot of scenes. And he's come up right now, he's in LA, and some people have said there's so many characters in there that to do it justice, you really should do an HBO series,
Me
3 or
too.
4.
I thought about it.
And I wonder if that's true. And I wonder if it would reach the people we like it to reach if it's an HBO series, or would it reach more people if it's a movie? And a very sticky, an issue comes up, is this the Fred Hampton story, or the Jeff Ayres story, or the assassination story? And people have raised that question, and I don't feel totally capable of the one to necessarily write the Fred Hampton story, because I'm not black, I didn't know him, most of what I gathered from other people. So I don't want it to be my effort to totally describe and be the main thing in that. I think that story is yet to be written. So on the other hand, certainly Fred is a major character, and I want people to understand who he was and why the government went to such lengths to kill him. And so walking that line, I think, is something that we're wrestling with. And if people here have ideas about that, I'd be interested in that. Some people say, well, why should a white lawyer be the hero, or a group of white lawyers be the hero of the story? Fred Hampton's just another exploited movie. On the other hand, if I say I'm writing the story on Fred, well, why should a white lawyer be writing the Fred Hampton story? So I'm trying to kind of parse that situation. We're trying to deal with that. Do justice to Fred, but not claim this is the story of Fred, because it is my story.
Right.
And at the same time, he's got to be a very major character. So we're trying to figure that out. People have suggestions.
We're trying to also figure out, we want to make sure that the story comes from people that knew him. And also, if you want to give any, we want to make sure that it don't just be all Hollywood actors. We want to make sure that some of the people here in Chicago that are upcoming actors and actresses get a part in
An
that.
opportunity. Yeah.
But you know what I was thinking? What do you think about the idea of, like, for instance, not to cut you off, for
No, it's all right.
but like, for instance, because I always think of this ever since I got familiar with the family, and since we're talking about movies and exposure like that, and now I ask you, Bill, what do you think about, like, 60 minutes? I mean, they have a short period of time, and they're replicable, and is that something outside the scope of a Maywood leader, in your opinion, or do you think that he's warranted to be on 60 Minutes? Because I do.
But who would be our?
That Fred Hampton's story could be on 60 Minutes, you know?
Well, there was a good, I mean, Eyes on the Prize, I think, did a pretty
Did a
good
great profile.
documentary. And the movie The Murder of Fred is very good.
Yes.
The thing is about the movie The Murder of Fred, which is a documentary, it was written before we knew about the FBI role.
Right.
It wasn't his fault, but we didn't learn that until after that movie was seen. So you see the raid, and you see it's hard, you see what the police did, but you have no